When you hear of UFC superstar involved in a car accident, hits a pregnant lady, and runs from police, who do you think of? Oh, you thought it was John Jones? But before there was John Jones, there was Quentin Rampage Jackson. And somehow, this story got swept under the rug. What I'm talking about is a 2008 car crash that Dana White had to bail Jackson out of jail. So let's go back and look at what happened and what led up to these events. Let's look back at Jackson's early life. Quentin Rampage Jackson was born on June 20th, 1978. Jackson is from Memphis, Tennessee, and had a difficult childhood. He began selling drugs from a young age and was involved in many street fights. Jackson also had a dysfunctional family, as his drug-addicted father disappeared when Jackson was only 10 years old before returning to his life in 2003. Jackson had his first experience with combat sports as a wrestler for Raleigh's Egypt's high school, enrolling at the school as a 17-year-old freshman, where his career included all-state honors in his senior year after finishing 5th in a state tournament at 189 pounds. Originally, Jackson intended to pursue a career in professional wrestling after graduating high school, but ultimately extended his amateur career at Lazen's Community College in Susanville, California, before being expelled after a fight with a teammate. After discovering mixed martial arts, Jackson trained in Las Vegas with MMA fighter Louis Rumble. Impressed by the success of other wrestlers in MMA, Jackson decided to try his hand at the sport. Jackson built up a record of 10 wins and 1 loss. In 2001, Japan's Pride organization marketed Jackson as a homeless person. What the hell? After having a lot of success in Pride Fighting Championship, on May 16, 2006, the World Fighting Alliance announced it had signed Jackson to a multi-fight deal. He defeated an Olympic silver medalist, Matt Lindland, while he was there. But on December 11, 2006, Zuffa, the parent company of the UFC, announced it has acquired select assets from the World Fighting Alliance, which ceased operations as part of the sales agreements. Jackson's WFA contract was one of the assets acquired. In an interview on the UFC program, Inside the UFC, Jackson said it's time for him to finally enter the organization, and that he has not been before because of his friendship with UFC fighter Tito Ortiz. Jackson said that because Ortiz was one of the biggest stars in the UFC, and that both fighters were in the same weight class, he didn't want to interfere. Jackson made his UFC debut at UFC 67, where he knocked out Marvin Eastman, avenging his early career loss. On July 5th, 2008, he fought Forrest Griffin for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship, but ultimately lost the fight. About a week later, Jackson was arrested on July 15th. He was involved in a hit and run in a high-speed police chase in Newport, California. According to a police report, Jackson crashed into 3 vehicles, narrowly missing several pedestrians and a bicyclist, while leading a plethora of police reports down Newport Boulevard. During the chase, Jackson crossed over the center of the median and his lifted Ford 350 pickup truck with a picture of himself on the side. Drove up on the sidewalk, sending other pedestrians leaping out of his way, racing down the wrong side of Newport Boulevard, and ran through several red lights, all while talking on his cell phone. Jackson, who says he remembers very little of the incident, which he said it was prompted by depression that led to sleepless nights and days without eating. In 2010, Rampage Jackson says he feels relieved and grateful after an Orange County judge struck down his felony conviction of evading police in a high-speed chase through Newport Beach in July of 2008. Jackson was instead placed on 3 years probation for misdemeanor reckless driving because he has successfully completed more than 200 hours of community service.
I'm very happy that I didn't go to jail. No one wants to go to jail.
Let's call case number 54, Quentin Jackson. Appearances, please.
I accepted our responsibility of whatever happened, so I wasn't even nervous in court or having worried about this case.
Mr. Jackson, I have a form that indicates you are about to plead guilty to 1 felony and 1 misdemeanor.
I decided to plead guilty, so I accept responsibility for what I've done, and I don't want to put those people through anymore.
How do you plead to count 2 of the indictment, which is felony evading, and count 3 of the indictment, which is misdemeanor reckless driving? Guilty or not guilty, sir?
Yes.
Counsel, do you join in the plea and the waivers?
Everything that's happening, to people's cars and not put people in harm's way, even though I didn't know I was doing it, I still did it. So I guess I was guilty in a way of doing those things I pled guilty to because it was me, I did it.
Here was Dana White's opinion on the situation.
We've always liked Rampage. Rampage is a good guy, and we care about our fighters and the guys who are with us. So the whole thing didn't make sense to me. When it went down, I was like, The only thing I thought is he must have taken drugs or something. He must have taken drugs or gotten drunk. I mean, which wasn't his personality. It was baffling. So I jumped on a plane. I was actually at the police station before he was. That's how fast I got there. I live in Nevada. He lives in California. And I got over there, and it ended up, they tested him for drugs. No drugs in his system. No alcohol. He had something called delirium. And it's basically, Rampage is a religious guy. And after he lost the fight to Forrest Griffin, it was the middle of the summer. He stayed in Vegas and went on some kind of fast where he wasn't eating or drinking water. All he was doing was drinking energy drinks. He was dehydrated, he had exhaustion, and he ended up getting what's called delirium. And you have to be treated for it. They treated him for it. He's back. He's normal, and we're happy. We're happy it wasn't drugs, alcohol, or something mentally wrong with him.
What makes this story even weirder is that Rampage Jackson decided to change up the entire story in 2014, basically saying that he was speeding and trying to get over to his friend who was about to commit suicide. But the thing is, Jackson never said that when he was talking to the police or talking to the judges or even talking to the media afterwards. So I'm not sure what to believe. I want to know your guys' opinion about the situation. Have you guys ever heard the story? Do you think Jackson was really trying to save his friend who committed suicide? Or do you think it was his original story? He just didn't get any sleep and he was hungry? But let me know in the comments down below, and let me know if you want to see more videos like this. Peace.